Mulheres Positivas. Hello, positive women! This is officially our first episode of Positive Women with some amazing gals that I truly admire. Let's start with Camila Santos, my partner and co-host of Positive Women USA, leading our headquarters in New York City. Born in Brazil but raised in the US, Camila has been living in America for the last 23 years. She's the travel and hospitality expert and entrepreneur and a proud founder of HotelSecurity.com. Camila, where are you?
Hi, Fabi. I'm so excited to be here and to be kicking off this project by your side and with such amazing guests. It's really a pleasure. I'm really excited for all that we're going to share today.
The pleasure is all mine, and I'm sure we're going to have an amazing time with these two amazing women that we decided to host for our first episode. And I'm very honored to have here today Sandra Di Moise, born Brazilian, Italian by family, and American by choice. Lives between Miami and Lisbon, a long and successful international career at the financial industry in two global organizations, Citi and Barclays, at C-level positions in both companies. Currently is a managing partner of a private equity firm in the US, board member, and fintech female founders mentor in the US and Europe. Hello, Sandra.
Hello, Fabi. It's so great to be here. Pleasure. Thank you for the invitation. It's exciting to be talking about female leads. So looking forward. Thank you.
And last but not least, Edwina Dunn, an English entrepreneur in the field of data science and customer-centric business strategy. And she's the founder of the Female Lead. So Edwina, nice to have you here.
Well, I'm really excited to be here. To be amongst these fabulous Brazilian multicultural women. Thank you.
Thank you for your presence. And I'd like to start our conversation with you telling us exactly what is Female Lead.
Well, the Female Lead is a campaign. It is about women, for women. We basically celebrate the stories of women who are shaping the world around them today. And so the idea is that you can't be what you can't see. And so we make visible women and their stories, their difficulties, their achievements, and we gift that to schools, to colleges, in the hope that we inspire more women, more girls to go on and do amazing things in their life.
Amazing. And I noticed that you have like so many followers on your social media, right? We were taking a look, Camila and we were shocked, right, Camila?
I know. I told Edwina a little previous to hopping on here, I'm a big TikTok user and they keep popping up and I can't get enough of their content.
Thank you so much.
And Camila would like to ask you girls about how hard it is being a female CEO in the US and in Europe, because we discuss this every day here in Brazil in Mulheres Positivas, but we're looking forward to understand how it works back there, right, Cami?
Yes, as an entrepreneur myself and just getting started in that world, I can already feel some of the difficulties, but you both are so well established and have been doing that a little bit longer. So I just really wanted to hear from you both. What is the hardest part of being a woman leader, a CEO in a large organization, and pass on some tips to us starters?
I think I was lucky enough to work for two large corporations, one American and one British. Both were very into diversity and inclusion, right? And the facts were like, diversity is a fact and inclusion is our decision, right? So I grew up in these organizations that felt like that. Although I would say that, the questions on challenges that I faced, that I would say probably sometimes be the only woman in the room, right? And how you deal with that, right? How you heard, how they take you seriously, right? Also because I was still young and things like that. And also be the first CEO in a region or for a corporation or for a business, right? It happened to me when I was the first CEO in Central America, 100 years of a company, right? So in one side, it's super challenging because you're the first one, right? So you're like a guinea pig for a lot of things. And what legacy you're gonna leave? What legacy you're gonna find, right? But at the other hand, it's so rewarding because I could see the women in the corporation that look at and me and look at us and said, "Wow, it's possible. I like what I see. I like to be here. I like to be part of that." So it's not only talk. I mean, I can see that I can get there. So I think when we reach those positions, I mean, the responsibility that we have is so huge. And I always felt that because, we want to a lot of those. That's why I soon started to be mentor and to help other women and be in groups and things like that, because I always thought that I could give away. One thing that I want to mention that I don't know if all your followers are pretty much familiar with, but in US, there is a very clear topic on challenge of women CEO. They call the glass cliff. I don't know if you heard about this term.
No, actually I haven't.
You haven't?
No, I haven't. Have you, Camila?
Yeah.
I have not actually.
Yeah, okay, because you're very familiar with the glass ceiling, right?
But yeah, I was going to say that, yeah.
Okay, the glass cliff is, so in general, what they say is that women are more likely to be appointed to be CEO when the organization is facing a tremendous crisis, right? Organizational crisis, right? So then is when they most likely to be appointed CEO. So imagine the woman come to the CEO position, and then they imagine what they're going to face, right? I mean, barriers from board. I mean, time, no flexibility on time to make things happen, right? So the probability of them not succeeding is high, and basically the tenure may be shorter for them, right? And more interesting is that normally when they fail, right, or they leave, they are replaced by men. So
that's very unfair. That's very unfair, actually. That pisses me off.
And I want to bring it up because I think this is also the intention here is to be educational about that. So, and this was a lot discussed recently, when Jane Fraser, the new CEO, the first CEO woman, female CEO for Wall Street, like big bank city, she just, took the position, and there was a lot of discussion is a glass cliff going on here or not? And she says that is not. So I really hope that is not, because that would be phenomenal. But I just wanted to add this topic, this point.
Yeah, that's really actually very unfair, and that really did piss me off. But since we're talking about myths, right, Camila and I were curious to discuss some of the myths, because I think it's really interesting that in the Female Lead, you guys have been discussing a lot about myths. And I wanted to relate to the myths that happen in South America and the ones that happen in Europe and in North America, right, Camila?
Exactly. The Female Lead, I actually went to your website, and I thought it was interesting how you guys displayed that, the myth, and some things you don't really realize until you have to kind of face it. And that was kind of that moment for me as a woman being working, starting my own business and all that. And I thought it was interesting how you put it, because there's also these connotations out there that are really myths. So my question, this one specifically for Edwina, what would you say I know there are tons of myths out there. I think on your site itself, there were about 10. But what would you say it's the one myth, if we had to pick one to start with and make it our goal to debunk it this year, what would you go for? And what should we work on?
Well, I hope you'll allow me to cheat a little bit. I will mention one. But if I'm very quick, I would like to mention a couple of the others, because they're myths and they are there to make us feel less about ourselves. And it's so important that we call this out and say to women, you are clever, you are strong, you can be successful. And these are myths. They are just that. So the biggest one is women aren't ambitious. Come on. Women are ambitious, really ambitious. Who doesn't want to be successful in their life? Who doesn't want to be the number one or great at what they do? So the biggest myth is that somehow ambitious isn't very ladylike, and women don't really like that. Not true. couple of others, if I may.
Please keep sharing.
The other thing is that, when women are thinking about having a family, maybe their children, they're no longer really committed to work. So at that point, their commitment drops and they're no longer a great employee. Not true. Women can be just as committed. They can be organized, really smart about their life. Commitment can be equal at the time they're thinking about it, at the time they're doing it, and at the time that they come back. The other myth is that women don't like earning more than men. That's so not true.
Absolute lie. Whoever said that.
Yes, I attest.
Fabi, I think you'd have something to say about that.
No, it just pisses me off. I'm finishing this interview really angry because, how can people stabilize these myths that don't even exist? And it's not only Brazil, it's Americas, it's Europe. I mean, overwhelming.
It's everywhere, and it's just not true. The other one is that imposter syndrome holds us back because we don't really feel good about ourselves and we worry that we're not good enough. The answer is we do. But because we're so conscientious, because we care so much, actually it makes us better and stronger. It makes us work harder. I bet anything you like, Sandra would have felt imposter syndrome, but it made her more successful, made her try harder. And that's the other thing. And then finally, risk-taking. Women don't like taking risks.
Yeah.
If you pay them enough, they take the risks.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes, we do.
Well,
We love the risks. We love the challenge. I mean, come on. We love that.
We're talking about myths.
Can I add one more?
Of course.
You allow me? Because we are among women, and here are women supporting each other, helping each other, right? How about the myth about women don't help other women, right? I mean, I hear that and I was like, come on. I mean, this helping has nothing to do with gender, helping has, all to do with really, discussing the steps to really support women to reach their ambitions, with, network and mentor roles and everything. So, I mean, plenty of examples of women supporting each other. I mean, I'm sure from this, the outcome will probably be a partnership in Brazil among ourselves. So here we go. This is a typical example. When I took the CEO position in Central America, in Panama, there was a woman who knocked my door and said, "You're not applying for that position?" And I was like, oh, wow, okay, let me apply. Let me get the confidence to go and apply for that. And guess what? I was the selected one, 100 years of company, the first woman to be there. It was a woman who knocked my door. And I can continue, giving examples, being mentoring of female founders, etc. And Edwina has millions of examples, and I'm sure each one of you have. But that is the saying that I still go to places and say, oh, yeah, women don't help women. I was like, what? Let's kill this for sure, for good.
No, and I agree. I would just add one more thing. And I think I'm feeling more in our generation as well as even the hashtag trends, women supporting women. And I think I remember being a little younger and you're almost thought to be jealous and kind of hope that they fall and stuff like that. But I think that's always changing in a very good way, that we're really like, we can all do this. And it's why it goes back to the importance of positive women, the female lead, because we're showing that it doesn't have to be one. It can be everyone and whatever they want to be. So I think that's the importance of all of this.
Yeah,
I love that. And actually our slogan is we rise by lifting others.
Amazing.
I'd like to finish off our conversation with our traditional question from Mulheres Positivas, and now it's going to become traditional also for positive women. So the three of you, please, I want a book, a movie, and a woman you admire, please. And it can't be your mother. It has to be some woman that people can look up and eventually learn something about it. So please, Camila, let's start with you.
A book, Principles by Ray Dalio. It's a book that really changed a lot of my perspective. Does it have to be a book by a woman, or
no?
It can be
That's
by
an
a
amazing
man?
book, actually. I love Ray Dalio, so you've nailed it.
Yes, that, and he lives really close by. So.
Really, next time we'll have him, and we're going to ask him what has he been doing for women empowerment.
Exactly. We got to put the men in the hot seat.
And he's going to sponsor the show too, because he's really rich, and he's becoming richer and richer.
Exactly. And I'm sorry, it was the book. What was the other one?
The book, a movie, and a woman you admire.
A movie, Pursuit of Happiness. I
Amazing.
think that's a movie that always moves me. It's a big reference in my life. And a woman, our vice president right now. I think what Madam Harris just did, it's very inspirational. And the first woman co-leading this country, especially in the moment of crisis, going back to what Sandra just said. And
she'll be here with us soon, Camila. We're gonna have her here.
Yes, and I'll be a fangirl talking to her as I am today with these beautiful women.
Edwina, please, and let's finish off with Sandra.
Okay, so my book would be by Nada Nazaddeen, which is Rise Up For You, forgive me, Rise Up For You, Nada Nazaddeen. Brilliant book, beautifully aligned with everything that I believe in and feel very strongly about in terms of the female lead. So very enriching and uplifting for me. A woman I admire, I'm going to say I admire 60 women. They're in the book, right? If you made me pick one, which is really unfair, I would say today I'm going to admire Claire Smith, who's a 3 Michelin star chef. She has her restaurant in London. She is an amazing woman and has just been a joy to get to know and to work with. I could have picked any of them, to be perfectly honest. And then as a film, oh my goodness. I don't know. I can't think of a film.
One that was like really special for you during your life that you can relate with and people can watch and be really inspired.
I don't know. You know, I watched the film that I watched that really changed me was when I watched Steve Jobs, the movie about his life and what he did. And I watched it on a plane and I felt like I'd been electrified. It was so exciting. And I know actually he wasn't a particularly lovely man, but what he did was, oh my God, so exciting and brilliant. And very inspirational. And I'm so sorry it's not a woman.
No, it's amazing. I mean, it's totally fine. Sandra, please.
Well, let me start with the movie then. I would say that this is a movie, it's an Italian movie, you know, I mean, my grandparents are Italian and I have a lot of passion for this, for all my origin. The movie is Cinema Paradiso. I don't know if you watch it. It's beautiful, very touching. Every time I watch it, I cried, you know, so it's very emotional. And it's an amazing, beautiful movie. In terms of the women and the book, I'm going to tie it both together. I mean, I could say Edwina because I definitely admire her a lot, but I truly do. But let me bring somebody else to the table. Then I sense that I can explain, the reason why. The woman I admire, I mean, can be so many, but I want to bring today because she's connected with the book that I'm going to mention. The book is Moment of Lift by Melinda Gates. I don't know if you read this book.
Of course. I love this book. Even my husband's reading this book now.
Okay, this book is unbelievable. I mean, this book is about empowering, for who is listening to us, it's about empowering women. And it's very interesting because Melinda says that it doesn't matter where you were born, life would be much harder for you if you were born a woman, right? And the whole Moment of Lift is going around the world to poor countries and really understanding this inequality, because why we're discussing about, differences and choices and opportunities for us in the labor work, which, we feel more in the developed world. I mean, they are discussing basic stuff. If a woman can even go to a soccer game, or if a woman can drive a car, or if a woman can vote, or if a woman has any right. I mean, education, the difference between men and women, a woman with 18 years old, I mean, that's like half of the women that are educated versus the men. So it's a lot of statistics that shows that inequality is so huge, and that is this topic is not in any global leader agenda. And until it's not on the table or in the global leaders' agenda, will never be a priority. So I think she addressed this in a very beautiful and a very, I would say, scientific and professional way. And I love the book, and I admire her a lot and what she's doing.
That was a wrap. Thank you very much, Sandra, Edwina, Camila. Camila, you'll be with me soon again, so don't just.
Yes, I will.
I'll see you soon. Sandra, Edwina, thank you very much, and we'll be back with Positive Women soon here in Jovem Pan.
Thank you. It was really fun. It was great. Thank you very much for.
Thank you, Fabi.
Thank you, Fabi.
And don't forget that the full interview with Edwina, Camila, and Sandra will be available for free in the Panflix app so that you can see and re-see whenever you want. If you haven't downloaded it yet, go to your app store and have the download. It's for free. I'll see you next week with another Positive Women.
Mulheres Positivas.